Right, hello and welcome to part 3 of my lockdown build. It's coming on reasonably well. I've had a few days, a bit of time off in the week, so I've sort of sniped off a few jobs. But basically with this one, it's sort of waiting for parts. I'm sort of making this up as I go along a bit. I haven't got a blueprint for it as such, which I had with the CT. I was sort of following a design which I'd sort of done before. With this, like I say, I've got a bit of an idea, but I'm sort of making it up as I go along. So I keep ordering different bits or changing bits or whatever, and I'm finding it quite hard to source certain parts. But I have got pretty much everything I need, at least on order now. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with some work today. And my intention is to have a rolling chassis by the end of the day with engine actually. So it's easier to move around and sort of work on. But I'll take you through what I've done so far and what I'm planning to do for the rest of the day. Right, as you can see, things are progressing in the electrical department. I'm just fitting the electricals now. I've basically got a pit bike loom, which I showed you in one of the earlier videos. And I'm having to create the sort of main loom myself, which is easy enough. So here I've got rectifier circuit and solenoid and CDI. The coil is inside this bit here. The solenoid here can be taken off, as I'll explain in a minute. So that's a bit messy, and then you've got a trunk wire going up to the head. There'll be two main sort of hubs for wiring a frame and headlight when it's all fitted. Again, simple, but a bit of legwork. And this side, this is slightly different here. It's using the same side panels as the CT, which have a cutout for the ignition switch. So I've mounted that there, and that'll basically poke through the side panel. And that'll be where the ignition switch is. Here I've just fitted on a fuse box, rather than just having an inline fuse, which I've got in the CT. And check that out, that is my brand spanking new Lifan engine. Very well, slightly different to the other one. It's a 125, but it's the old style engine, so it's sort of more in keeping with the original C90 look, and it also gives me the option, if I want to fit leg shields, they'll fit that better than they will do the more modern one. So it's a completely different engine than I've got on the CT, and it's a semi-automatic, a 4-speed semi-automatic, and I've got a bracket kit somewhere so I can fit that bad boy into the frame. So a bit more simple. It's not electric start, thus I can get rid of the solenoid, which I showed you a minute ago. So yeah, that engine comes with kickstart pedal, gear pedal, and a gasket kit for the carb fitting. So that is ready to go. Right, this is my light unit and some CG ears that don't really fit properly, but I'm going to sort of make them fit. This is the top yoke. These two little bits here have to come off, otherwise the top of the light will sort of foul on them. And it's a bit annoying because I'm obviously going to have to repaint that, but that's not a big deal. There's other stuff I have to repaint, so that'll just get done in the process. Right, there you go. Nice as that now. I did that the old-fashioned way. I used a hacksaw and hand files because I wanted to minimise the amount of respraying I'm going to do. This is a part that isn't really that noticeable, so hopefully I'll be able to just touch that up. Right, I'm just installing the hub carrier bearing at the moment. As you can see, I've got a socket because this has a shaft in it, so that clears the shaft, and you can just push the bearing in. As you can see, it goes in very easily. Certainly a lot easier than they come out. No hammer needed. Right, another problem. I bought this sort of rear fender tail section. And as you can see on this, it's got a different profile. So that doesn't fit properly. You sort of might get the idea of what it's supposed to look like. So, I'm going to have to bring my legendary metalworking skills to bear on this. So I'm going to have to somehow put a couple of creases, create a sort of bend there, and sort of try and profile match as much as I can. This is going to be interesting. I might use a combination of blowtorch and variety of hammers and basically see how it goes. Once I've finished, this is a bit of an old school look, I'm going to chop off the end so it's more in keeping with the CT style. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get on with this, but we shall see. Right, I'm hoping that my ridiculously cunning plan works. As you can see, I've put a bolt through and I've put some mole grips on just to stop that side moving. I'm hoping I can get my blowtorch on this, heat up this sort of line here and start tightening that. I'm hoping that the softer metal here will yield and it'll create a bend there. This is a bit experimental, but I don't have sort of metalworking kit here, so I'm kind of making this up as I go along. Right, after a bit of blowtorching and hammering, etc., this isn't actually too bad. When I screw it in, it'll pull it in tighter, which is what I'm going to try now, but I think I'm going to get away with that. We'll see what it looks like screwed in. Right, that's it chopped now. It's difficult to get to see what it'll look like because the bike's obviously at an angle on this bench, but that's okay. It obviously just needs to be tidied in a little bit. So that'll be good once it's finished. So I'm going to do a bit of cutting, cut that all in, make it look sort of half finished, and I'm obviously going to take it off, clean it, blast it, you know, paint it and all the rest of it. Right, there we go. That's shaped up now. It's difficult to see exactly how it's going to look on the bike. But I think it'll look alright. Like I say, remember, there's going to be a number plate that'll go down to about there. So, off it comes, and that's going to get sprayed up. Pretty happy with that. Right, there we go. The rubber has arrived. I've gone for knobbly styles, like the CT. These are 3-inch. The CT's got 2.75. I did actually order 2.75 originally, but I got an email from the guy saying that he didn't actually have any and it'd take 3 weeks. So I ordered these, which are 3. So they're going to be a bit bigger and they're going to look quite beefy. Obviously the inner tube's there and it's going to be, they are a bit of a pain in the arse fitting those, but I'll be fitting those today. Boom. There we go. It's coming on all right. I've completely finished the main electric hub, if you like, in that in the frame area. That's all done. Obviously, the next bit is the lights, but the sort of hub in the lights and the sort of switch gear, etc., on the handlebars. But it's not going to be too much of a drama, and I'm waiting for light ears, the bits that go there, and various other parts for the headstock, which I had to order. As you can see, I've got the shocks on, and I've painted up this rear mudguard section that's currently outside. I've just painted and lacquered that. I've just given it 2 coats of lacquer. Hopefully that'll be okay. I might need to give it another coat. So for now, I shall be turning my attention to the tyres. Well, I'm not going to turn my attention immediately to the tyres. I'm just going to lay down the basics. Right, there we go. All licked out with some rubber and looking good. Right, I'm now going to chuck the back wheel assembly on the bike just so that I've got something I can put the engine onto. So, cush drive's in place and the rear sprocket carrier all built up. That goes on there, and you've got the stub axle there, and I've cleaned up the shaft and all the rest of it. Obviously on the other side you've got the brake hub with the new shoes attached. I'm only going to mount it loosely. I'm not going to put on the torsion arm and the chain and all the rest of it. It's only really so I can get it off that table onto the floor so I can fill that space with some lovely engine-ness. Right, I'm just coming to fit on this cut down rear section. As you can see, I've sort of got the tyre on now, so it's going to be quite difficult putting nuts under there and trying to sort of hold it for the inside. I could of course take the wheel off. However, this is I'll show you this now because it's a neat little tool. As you can see, I've put in here some riv nuts. They're these things. It's basically like a rivet, or threaded inserts they're also called, riv nuts or threaded inserts. So you put this in, squeeze it up with this tool here, and now I've basically put two nuts solidly onto that, so I can just hold this in place and screw it in from the top, which will make my life considerably easier. I've also used them on the frame. You can see one there. They're just brilliant bits of kit. This is obviously very thin, this metal, and you just put in these riv nuts and you've got you've put in a thread. You can use them on plastic and anything, as long as you strengthen it with washers so it doesn't crack the plastic. Really good bit of kit, and I just thought it was worth mentioning that. Right, and here we are. I've got the back wheel loosely on. It's not fitted properly. It's only really there to so I can use it as a balancing point if you like. But I finished the electrics now pretty much on the centre bit, and I fitted the battery. And I fitted the engine. It was a bit of a faff, and it's not completed yet. I need to get some extra hardware just to finish it, but it all fits now, and it's good. So it's coming together. I've had to remove the starter cover, which I'd have to do anyway, just to expose the cog, and I had to do it anyway to sort of fit it. But yeah, just waiting for the back mudguard section to dry, and the top tri-clamp, and then I'll be able to fit the forks. It does lie a little bit low at the front. The reason for that is because I've put bigger tyres on, considerably bigger than the originals, which would be 2.5 or 2.25. So as you can see, the whole bike's tilted a bit forward, which means that the centre stand won't work properly. Once I get obviously two bigger tyres on front and back, I think the centre stand would be off the floor. So I'm not really too bothered about that. It will have a side stand, but whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much me for the day. I've got the day off work tomorrow, so I shall be back tomorrow. I'll fit the back of it, and do whatever else I can. Right, that's me done for the day. I didn't quite get a rolling chassis together, but I sort of got further than I thought I would. I've got the engine on now properly, securely. I've got the rear wheel on. I can't get the front end on until I've got some bits through. So I'm going to end this video here. Basically, I am in the workshop as well tomorrow because I'm working from home. So yeah, I'll try and get another video together with the sort of completion of it. because it's getting pretty close now. So I'll sign out for now, and I will see you later. Goodbye.